Today, we are diving deep into the science behind two of the biggest health challenges we face: obesity and cancer. We're going to unpack the powerful and honestly pretty complex link between them, all based on a major review in JAMA. Let's get into it. Right off the bat, let's start with a number that really puts things in perspective. In the United States, about 10% of all new cancer diagnoses are tied to excess body weight. Now that's already a big number, but get this. For some cancers, like endometrial cancer, that figure can shoot up to 50%. So we're not talking about a small connection here. This is a major signal for public health.
And you know, this isn't just an American problem. Not at all. When we zoom out and look at the data, we can see this is quickly becoming a global crisis.
The projections from the World Obesity Atlas are frankly staggering. By the year 2035, it's expected that more than half, 51%, of the entire world's population will be living with overweight or obesity. We're talking over 4 billion people. This single trend is a huge driver behind the rise in cancer rates we're seeing all over the world.
So, you might be asking, which cancers are we actually talking about here? Well, the International Agency for Research on Cancer has pinpointed a clear dozen that are strongly linked.
And the list includes some really common ones: cancers like colorectal, postmenopausal breast cancer, endometrial, and liver cancer. But it doesn't stop there. It also includes cancers of the kidney, the pancreas, the gallbladder, the esophagus. I mean, the list goes on. The sheer range of cancers here really drives home just how systemically obesity can impact the body.
Okay, but that brings us to the most important question, right? How? How does having excess body fat actually create an environment inside our bodies that helps cancer grow? Let's take a journey into the biology, into the core mechanisms that make this happen.
First on our list is chronic inflammation. Now, you have to stop thinking of fat tissue or adipose tissue as just a passive storage unit for energy. It's not. When there's too much of it, it becomes dysfunctional, and it creates this constant low-level buzz of inflammation all throughout the body. What happens is these enlarged fat cells, called adipocytes, just start pumping out these inflammatory signals, things like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. These signals create what scientists call a microenvironment that is just perfect for tumors. It's like constantly fertilizing the soil for cancer cells, telling them to grow, thrive, and spread. All right, next up, our hormones get thrown completely out of whack. That excess fat tissue, it's not just storing energy, it's acting like a giant, rogue, hormone-producing factory. It's a whole endocrine organ on its own, and it can seriously mess with the body's delicate hormonal balance. And here's how that works. These fat cells crank up the production of hormones like estrogen and leptin. This is especially important after menopause, when fat tissue becomes the main source of estrogen in the body. So more fat tissue means way more estrogen, which directly fuels the growth of hormone-sensitive cancers, like postmenopausal breast cancer, ovarian, and endometrial cancers. It's a direct link. Now let's move on to the third mechanism, because it all starts to build on itself. It's about a weakened immune system. Think about it. Our immune system is our frontline defense, our security force against developing cancer cells. But obesity actually ties its hands, making it way less effective.
It's a double whammy, really. The body's elite cancer-fighting squads, your T cells and your natural killer cells, their numbers go down and they become less effective. And at the exact same time, other cells that actually suppress the immune response start to increase. This combination basically gives rogue cancer cells a free pass to sneak by undetected and grow without being stopped.
And finally, let's talk about fuel. Cancer cells are incredibly greedy. They are just ravenous for energy, so they can divide and grow. And as it turns out, excess fat tissue is like an all-you-can-eat buffet right next door. It's almost like a direct delivery service. These fat cells can literally transfer energy in the form of free fatty acids directly to nearby cancer cells. They use these tiny little molecular packages to do it. This just supercharges the tumor's metabolism, helping it grow and spread much faster.
Okay, so after hearing about all these pretty sobering mechanisms, the big question becomes, what can we do about it? Is there a way to reverse this? Let's look at the actual evidence-based strategies for turning back the risk.
And the answer, thankfully, is a clear and resounding yes. The research is very hopeful here.
The evidence points to several really effective tools in our toolbox. We're talking about things like lifestyle interventions, diet and exercise, but also pharmacological approaches with new medications like GLP-1 agonists and even surgical options like bariatric surgery. And the data here is just so compelling. There was a landmark study on bariatric surgery, and it found that the group who had the surgery saw their risk of developing these obesity-related cancers drop by 32% compared to the control group. That is a powerful, powerful demonstration that significant weight loss can make a profound difference.
But here's the key takeaway from the research. It seems that to really meaningfully lower your cancer risk, it's not about losing just a few pounds. The evidence suggests a significant amount of weight loss is needed. We're talking potentially more than 10% of your total body weight. This really underscores how important it is to have effective, sustained interventions.
And all of this brings us to the final, critical idea from this research. A whole new way to think about what obesity is and what it does in our bodies.
It's so clear that obesity is much more than just a metabolic disease. Through that chronic inflammation, the hormonal chaos, the immune suppression, and by literally feeding tumors, it acts as a major amplifier for cancer risk. Understanding these connections is absolutely the first step toward developing better prevention strategies for millions and millions of people all around the world.